At minimum, is an extremely complex statute that takes. It's easy for the government to prove, very difficult for the defendant to defend, but it's something that takes a substantial amount of time to prepare a defense for.
The RICO Act, or Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, is a statute originally enacted in 1970 to control organized crime, such as the mafia. The statute makes it unlawful to conduct or conspire to conduct an enterprise whose activities affect interstate commerce by committing or agreeing to commit a pattern of racketeering activity. To establish violations of RICO statute, 4 elements must be proven. 1. First, the prosecution must demonstrate that the defendants were associated with an enterprise as defined in the U.S. Code 18, Section 19614. 2. Or second, the government must prove that the enterprise engages in or its activities affect interstate commerce. 3. Or third, the government is required to prove that each defendant agreed to participate in the enterprise by actually committing or agreeing to commit at least 2 predictable offenses. A pattern of racketeering activities requires 2 or more predicate acts within a 10-year time frame and must be connected with each other in some logical manner for an unlawful end. 4, or the fourth, is that the government must prove that each defendant agreed to participate in the affairs of the enterprise by actually committing or agreeing to commit at least 2 predicate offenses.
So the first point I made was that due to the fact that Dr. York's attorneys had been terminated and I was hired as lead counsel 6 days before trial, I needed an extension of time to properly prepare a defense. The judge denied that. 2, I said in the alternative, even if it's considered that, you know, Dr. York has had counsel, so however it is maneuvered, he should have been ready. The pure fact that the indictment was superseded in November, which was slightly over a month before the trial was to start, that wasn't enough time. It wasn't enough time to prepare for a RICO trial in a month and 2 days, or 6 days, or 2 weeks, or whatever.
Right.
So my point was, even if the court's position is that Dr. York had enough attorneys, he's not going to grant another extension because of termination of counsel, just based on the pure fact that you're requiring a defendant to prepare for a federal RICO trial with a month and two weeks, or about 6 weeks, is insufficient time. And the judge denied both those requests, or it was considered very fine.
They're about to get ready to bounce me to another one now, to Brunswick. In the judge's environment, when he went to school and he practiced for 20 years, he's pulling a jury of his peers, because they know by now that we have all the facts, and they have no evidence. And they know we're about ready to beat this case, so now they're trying to put a curveball in this situation and hoodwink the public so the public won't know what's really going on. That's why they're trying to close the court. Because they thought they had me dead to right, and all that stuff they printed back in May was right, all that filth and all that stuff was true, and all the witnesses and all that there, they would want it on television. Don't tell me this would be one of the greatest shows they have in the public. Right now with the Michael Jackson case going on too, and the Pope's things just came back on with the Catholic ministers too, this would be a beautiful one. Why would they want to hide this one? And don't tell me they're trying to protect no children, because there's no children in the case. Everybody in this case is over 18 years old. Your father and the other 2 they said was under 18 were excused, and they was already verified as not having been molested when those other 5 kids was released. The doctor said these kids had not been molested, so that's what he's calling 2 kids underage. The other time he lies and speaks about a girl and Mochi keeps getting up and lying to the judge, telling me that girl was 13 when we got her birth certificate and verified she was 14.
No child molestation as far as Mr. York was going on. I mean, Ada, she was molesting my brother, and she was having sex with other boys that lived on the land who were minors when she was 23, 24 years old. So all the molesting was on Ada's behalf. She was doing all the molesting. And they're just saying Mr. York did the things that they do. They're the ones who are doing all of these things, and that's how they could come up with these stories. about what was going on, because this is what they were doing, and they took their names out and put Mr. York's name there to say that he was doing it. But I know the truth, and they know that I know the truth.
You know, I've seen with my own eyes how she was attracted to younger boys, and I found letters of hers that she wrote to certain boys that I've known, and saying the things that she wanted to do to them. If she see them, having to see them come around, she'd go and run and put tight clothes and go, you know, throw herself on them. You know, these boys was 13, 14 years old, and she was 26.
We all know what you were doing in the past, and we all know that if anybody should be going to jail for child molestation, it should be you, Ada, and Nicole. And Mr. York needs to be let free. Of all the things that y'all did in the past, Ada, you were molesting younger boys. Jacob, you were also molesting younger boys. And it's just not fair. Y'all have taken a lot of people's childhood away. But y'all sending an innocent man to jail for the things that y'all have done wrong. And we all know the things that we said. We all know the things that we planned. And amongst our circle, only we know. I mean, even if someone else goes outside the circle and tell the story, is going to come out different. But we all know the truth. We all know it was a conspiracy. It was all a plot to set Mr. York up, to put Mr. York in jail, because you were the one who wanted money. And you set everybody up. You plotted all of us against Mr. York to help you with this conspiracy for your greed. You know, and it's not fair. Mr. York has kids, and I mean, just because you have a vendetta against your father, it's not fair. You know, Habiba came forward. She's telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. And a whole bunch of other people are now coming out with the truth. And sooner or later, the FBI is going to come looking for somebody to land a conspiracy on. And honestly, my personal opinion is going to be you, Ada, and Nicole. So sooner or later, y'all going to have to come out with the truth. It will be heard. The media has my story. My story's online. My name is online, so I have no choice but to come out with the truth, and the truth is going to be heard. You know, and as far as Nicole is concerned, you're molesting younger boys. You and I both know that. So do so many other people, and I'm not going to name them, but we know who they are. And for you, Jacob, it's the same thing for you. You were molesting younger boys, but I'm not going to name who they are. It's not fair to them. You took their childhood away. And for Mr. York, I'm really sorry this really happened to you. I'm truly, truly sorry. It's not fair. Mr. York really needs to be let go of because he's innocent. We've all set it up just for Jacob.
All of us were angry, and we all got together and agreed to this case, and we went ahead with it, and now he's facing life in jail for it. It's not right. It's not fair for anybody to be prosecuted because of somebody else's personal reasons. I don't think that he should be incarcerated because of that. If we all did have issues against him, then that's human nature. But nobody should be sent to jail because of a bunch of lies. And what was said on that stand were a bunch of lies.
What that's addressing is and that's another reason for the money structuring counts. An additional reason why they needed to get those money structuring counts is because you would use the guidelines related to the closest related to the last offense date. And in this case, the structuring, I think the allegations were around the 2002 time. The original sexual allegations back in '93, which you would have got more favorable sentencing under those guidelines than